Matthews 24:6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Slocky. Mark 13:8. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdoms. There shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows. Luke 21:9. And it reads the Holy Scriptures. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered in the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And I say Shabbat Shalom to your Akim out there. And it's two news articles that I'm about to bring out for In the News on October 25th, 2022, 3:49 p.m. Central Standard Time on this Tuesday afternoon. And you have one right here. It's from Reuters.com. It was posted on October 25th, 2022. And the highlight of this news article, and it reads, Kharkiv troops preemptively fires at Russian military. Ukraine servicemen in the Kharkiv region on Tuesday, on October 25th, conducted preemptive fire at Russian military position. I believe this is a clip right here. 52 seconds.
Аеророзвідка доповіла, що противник висунув.
Aerial reconnaissance reported that the enemy is moving an APC and set up an observation post with enemy infantry.
З піхотою противника. Тому задача була поставлена знищити, виявити.
The mission was to eliminate enemy military vehicles and infantry to prevent their attack on our positions.
Так, у противника є контрбатарея.
The enemy has counter-battery systems which quickly detect where the artillery is firing from, and they target it with counter-battery fire. So we're working very fast while migrating. We head out, do the work, and leave the position.
So as you see right there,
L'Italia continua.
So, as you see right there, that 52-second clip, you seen some Ukraine service members. They was of Kharkiv, if I pronounced that right. Troops or servicemen of Ukraine shooting rocket launchers, I believe, at the position of the Russian soldiers and those positioned over there in that region, with the Russian-Ukraine situation war, And, that's a rumor of war. And between, the clashes between the nations and different kingdoms and stuff. And that's what we're seeing at an increasing rate, And I'm going to read the article. I already showed the 50-second clip of that. And it says the Ukraine service member in the Kharkiv region on Tuesday conducting preemptive fires at Russian military positions. Right, because you're seeing the commotions, proxy wars, the operation war in Ukraine, which is Russia doing, and Ukraine is firing missiles at Russian positions, which is some of them in that region is run by Russia. I can have a Russian so it's a lot of activity going on in that region of Ukraine. You know. And this is another news article. This was recently happened on Sunday, I believe. And that goes to show you a lot of wars and commotions is going on in the world. And this one right here from Myanmar, this news article was published by Sandy Sadhu, Jesse Young, El Kurdi, and Sally Tess of CNN. This article was updated at 4:18 a.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday, October 5th, 2022. And the highlight of this news article, and it reads, Myanmar military airstrike kills about 50 Kachin rebels, says. Dozens of people have been killed in a military airstrikes as a celebratory event in Myanmar mountainous state on Sunday, drawing international condemnation of the junta that seized power in the country more than a year and a half ago. Victims have been attending an event organized by the Kachin Independence Army, KIA, to mark the 62nd anniversary of the armed ethnic rebel group's political wing and Kaz Independence Organization, the KIO. The KIO organization secretary Lin Yin said on Tuesday. The Lay Yin said both men and women were among about 50 killed. Right, 50 killed now. The death toll went up to 50 to 80 last time I checked. A new update on it. It says about 50 to more people killed, plus 30 makes it 80. Though no children have been identified amongst the victims yet, another 54 people are injured. Many were burns and serpent wounds, he added. It says CNN cannot independently verify the number of reported deaths. Lai Ying said the event, which include musical performance, one of the group's most significant festivals with the hundreds, if not thousands, in attendance, including artists, business owners, and elders. And many had traveled from across the state to attend, he said. And it says, Myanmar's quote, coup leaders tried to crush resistance, but 1 year on it's stronger than ever. I guess that was a related article, I believe. So I don't think it's related to that. But continuing on with the news article, it says, we understand the intentions of the airstrikes. We largely inflict chaos and massive pain to the public in a large volume, and it was such damage as it would inflict, Li Ying said. The military junta, which overthrew the government in a bloody coup last February, claiming, right, because there was a lot of villagers, they had to leave their areas due to the uptick of the protests and the uprising of people in that region in Myanmar. And along with the anti-coup and all that a few years back, this one last February, as I mentioned in the article. It says, claim on Monday that reports of civilians' death from the airstrike were fake news. Right, because that goes into the rumor of news, rumor of wars, and rumors of news as well too. And it says, a claim the airstrikes have targeted the Kia's military base in response to the group's early raids and attacks on passenger vessels along the Irati River. It's also claimed it has followed international conventions so as to ensure peace and stability of the region. And you know that scripture, and we know what scripture that comes into to mind. First Thessalonians, when they shall say peace and safety, and it says, Lane refuted the Jin claim, saying celebration has been held in a Nang Pa region, a small area where travelers often stop by market is now where close to military installations. He said, though the KIO personnel were in attendance, they were not as the military personnel, but as entertainers helping welcome guests and performer, he added. Since the coup, rights group observed says freedom and rights in Myanmar have been deteriorated. State executions have returned, and the number of documented violence attacks by the army on school has surged. Numbers of army rebel groups have emerged, while millions of others continue resisting the junta's rule through strikes, boycotts, and other forms of civil disobedience. The Myanmar shadow government, the National Unity Government, and a group of outlawed lawmakers, coup opponents, the ethnic minority groups represented condemned the attack in a statement on Monday, saying that the military had deliberately committing another mass killing. The attack clearly violates the international laws and provisions in the Geneva Conventions, he said in a statement, urging the international communities and United Nations to take effect actions urgently. The NUG operates undercovers or through member abroad seeking to gain recognition as the legitimate government of Myanmar. Internet blackout and blockages. The attack on Sunday drew international condemnation, with the United Nations saying it was concerned over reports more than 100 civilians impacted. While the UN continues to verify the details of the attack, we offer our deep condolences to the families and friends, although were killed or injured. The UN calls for those injured to avail urgent medical treatment and needed, it said in a statement on Monday. He added the military excessive and disappropriated use of force against unarmed civilians was unacceptable and called on those responsible to be held accountable. The lean and the official said the military had sealed off roads surrounding a Yang Pad after the attack imposed the internet and telecommunications blackout and deployed plainclothes officials to local hospitals, meaning the victims of the attack has little to access to medical care. Similar situation happened over there in Ukraine of those missiles attacks from both sides, from Russia and Ukraine, and you have citizens in blackout conditions with no electricity, kind of similar to that. It says they are taking refuge in nearby makeshift clinics and rudimentary medical facilities in the mining area. Most of their relatives are very worried because there is very little to access medication, he said, calling a deliberate blockage. The KIO in local communities is now trying to recover all of the victims and have proper burial according to the traditions. In there, you know what he said, adding about 10 bodies were beyond identification. CNN independently verified the current situation. On Monday, the ambassadors of Australia, Canada, Czech Republic, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, Spain, Norway, Switzerland, and the UK and the United States issue a joint statement condemning the strike. This attack underscores the military regime responsible for crisis and stability in Myanmar and the regional and its disregard for the obligation to protect citizens and respect the principles and rules of international humanitarian laws. The joint statement read: non-profit organizations, Amnesty International, in a statement, the military actions including executing pro-democracy activists, jailing journalists, targeting civilians, having allowed to continue in the face of an effective international response. As officials, leaders of the international Southeast Asia nations prepares to host a high-level meeting in coming weeks. This attacks highlights the need of overhaul approach to the crisis in Myanmar. The statement urged the ASEAN leaders to take action when they meet for their annual summit in November. Bring out a scripture for that as well too. This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 25. I believe that's the right scripture. It's the no, that's not the right one. Let's see somebody. This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 25, and it reads, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon, and the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity and sea and the raving, the sea and the waves roaring. Right, because as you read that news article, distress of nations, what you're seeing of these citizens and these different types of groups having uproars between one another, which is creating humanitarian crisis, famines type crisis, with these nations increasingly going against one another, sedition among man and spirit, and they're going against their leaders in these countries and the militaries and stuff like that. And that's what you're seeing, the distress of nations on the planet Earth. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the uptick in the famines, the uptick of uprisings in the people in the world, the uptick of wars and rumors of wars, the uptick of the commotions of wars, proxy wars, nations fighting over territory, nations fighting over political agendas, even though I ain't trying to say that political word. I'm not trying to make it political or nothing like that. But that's what we're seeing taking place on the planet Earth, the perplexity of the stress of nations, and that's what we're seeing. And we're going to see an increase of these things taking place on the planet Earth, So with that, I just want to bring out those two news articles with the Russia-Ukraine situation and the situation that happened Sunday of the military airstrike of what the Myanmar military did. Of 80 people had got killed of a concert that they had of a military airstrike that happened on Sunday. So these are the signs of the times that we're actually living in that's taking place on the planet Earth, not just only in one place, throughout the whole planet Earth. That's why Bron got that Luke 21 and 25 perplexity of the distress of nations. That's what we're seeing with the uprisings and the people in the world. With that, that can be in the scripture of Second Ezra 9:3. Upwards of the people in the world, sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes or their leaders, and that's what we are seeing. The citizens and these protesters and these different type of rebel groups clashing against the militaries, clashing against the citizens, etc. That's what we're seeing taking place on the planet Earth. We're going to see it increase more and more and more with the sedition among men, wars and rumors of wars, nations rising up against nations, nations going against their people that's in leadership, opposing the certain laws of what's going on in these different respectable countries around the world, globally, for economics, territorial, actual equal rights, and many different type of rights of freedom rights as well too. All this is taking place on the planet Earth, and it's going to increase more and more and more. Because we see these signs of the times that we are currently living in, according to the holy scriptures of biblical prophecy. So with that, hope this lesson was edifying, along with the scriptures and the articles that I brought out, like I mentioned before. Hopefully, I was able to get the point straight forward. And so with that, hope this was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Yahushua for In the News on October 25th, 2022 at 4:09 p.m. Central Standard Time on this Tuesday afternoon. And so with that, I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, or Karkadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone. Preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching his word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, I will say Shabbat Shalom and a ball.